Hello, and welcome back to the FitZen project. I am your host, Rachel Fitzpatrick, and I welcome you with open arms. This is such a good day to have a good day, y'all. Oh my gosh. So, I have had such a weekend. It has been one that I kind of went into a little hermit shell. It was kind of crazy. I haven't had such a deep reflection in a very long time. It was super emotionally charged for me this weekend, and it came right on time actually, and I'm super grateful for the amount of time that I took to take care of myself and feel all the feelings and sit with it, because on the other side, there was a lot to be so grateful for and so in love with. Oh my goodness. So I hope that when those times hit you, you give yourself the time and space to honor that, because like I say, you are your most important project, and there's no better time than to be in the business of yourself. And that's what it means, y'all. That is exactly what it means. Which brings me to today's, for sure, like one of my favorite guests that I've had on. And yeah, I'm a little bit biased because this is an old friend of mine, and I've gotten to have like a seat in the arena watching him expand and grow and do some really cool stuff. And not even just for himself, but he's a worldly man. So Heath Armstrong, he is a CEO, co-creator, co-founder of Rage Create, which is in the show notes. 100% guarantee you will love everything that's on that website. He's got Rage Create Your Habits, Rage Create with your Spank Your To-Do list. He's got affirmations and a calendar. It's so cool. Everything that the guy makes with his team is just one of those things where I'm just like, wow, this really would add to the tools to keep in my toolbox. So I actually use these affirmation cards that he creates on the regular every single day. I use the pads to keep myself organized with my project executive notes and things that I have to do for work. And I also keep it organized for remodels. Like right now, I've got a remodel going on in my bathroom. I got a remodel going on in a studio space. I got all sorts of stuff happening, and I've got notes for days on things that I've got to get done. So anyway, I think this conversation is one for the records, and I really hope you enjoy it as much as you can tell that I enjoyed recording with Heath. He is an amazing man, awesome man, great dad, great husband to be, and I hope that, yeah, you just take a cup of tea, get a cup of coffee, and come and enjoy this beautiful conversation. Oh,
Been a while. You like it's I was thinking about when we used to hang out. It's so long ago. It doesn't seem like
yeah.
long ago, but it was so fucking long ago.
It was very, very long ago. It was
It was like 10 years ago, maybe longer.
longer. It was like 2013,
It was definitely
2012.
pre, it was like pre 2015.
Yeah, yeah. It was a
Isn't that
while.
crazy?
I know. Like, we hung out, and then all of a sudden you're in another country doing some amazing stuff, and I'm like, "Where's Heath? What is he doing over there? What are you doing?" You
Yeah,
had
this is
a
unique because I talked to a lot of people. I mean, I've been on, several different shows, but nobody that comes from knowing me before. So this is very special. It's a cool
yeah,
thing
it is
because
pretty
usually I can
neat.
explain where I was, but you were there and we both evolved out of that. So it's a pretty cool thing.
Absolutely. And also, thank God that we're not still there. Yeah. Yeah, one of the cool things that sparked me with you when you were because I always felt like you were like 10%, 10 steps ahead of my own evolution, because you were just like, got it, and you went. And I'm like, oh, Heath, look at this dude. You wrote that book on bat making your own badass. What was it?
It was a journaling, yeah, the sweet ass journal
The
to develop your
sweet
happiness
Ashford.
muscle in 100 days.
Yes. Yeah. I bought that during COVID and did like the first 10 pages, and then I got pregnant. I'm like, oh, look at that. Life
That's
got me
amazing.
good. Yeah. Yeah. It was awesome.
I'm
Um,
redoing that whole system now. It will be updated. I'm going to make a new, with the evolution of what I've gone through. So,
yeah.
yeah, that
Well,
was written
sweet.
probably in 2017.
Hmm.
So very different, but it was powerful for me for sure.
And others
Yeah. Yeah.
when
A
they
lot of people
didn't.
used it.
Hmm. Yeah. So just what is it for you, like being in the business of yourself? I mean, if you want to speak on your evolution from when we were hanging out way back in the day to like all of the time in between.
Okay. So we're rolling now.
Let's do it. Yeah.
The evolution of myself. I don't feel like I had much of a choice in context of I believe I would have died if I stayed exactly how I was. Um, there's a lot of intuitive signs that I've taken in life since a small child, but I kind of pushed them away. Like you see a number that you kind of resonate with. For me, it's the number 22, or certain spirit animals might pop up at particular times, and it makes you think, like where am I going from this moment on? And for me, every time one of those symbols pops up, I actually really stop and pause and contemplate exactly what I'm doing right then. And I'm like, am I operating from a place of like my heart center, or am I operating from the place of my mind that thinks I have to do all these logical things so that I can get ahead and be productive, or whatever that might be? So I I basically just gave myself permission to start loving myself enough to where creativity began to actually flow out of me, because I was choosing in the moment to do the thing that I was being drawn to with my excitement, as opposed to doing the thing that I thought that I had to do to make money, or to please somebody else, or to, be in whatever career job I might have had. Um, or honestly, just taking care of all of the junk that we compile in our life, digitally and physically. Like I had so much shit that I was spending my time taking care of and cleaning. And I wasn't like a hoarder or anything, but like everything that you have in your life, whether it be friends or people or possessions, there is an aspect of you that is given to them, and vice versa. There's an aspect of
Mhm.
that is given to you. And the bigger that is, the more complicated it can be. So if it's going to be an awesome life of connection, which it should be, why not connect to the things that are actually helping you move toward what you truly want in life, which is guided by your heart, like your visions and your dreams, and not resist those things by hanging out with people and doing the things that help you resist it. Because I think it's really low hanging fruit to be like, I'm just going to clean the kitchen again, or I'm just going to go do these errands because they need to be done and they're annoying. But really, a lot of that is just resisting the thing that you should be doing. Like all that shit will get done. You don't have to plan it. Like it'll eventually get done, but it's blocking you from sitting down and actually being with yourself in solitude and feeling your pain and feeling the things that you've been suppressing your whole life. And when you start feeling those things, that energy, you start to realize that, oh, like this anger that I've been feeling, and I've been using it in the wrong way, and I've been hurting people with, or I've been abusing myself with, can actually be used in a capacity that helps explode goodness into the world through my creations. Or this shame that I've been feeling, like, oh my gosh, everybody else is feeling shame too. Like, let's talk about this. And then on the end of that, you're like, end up, hugging people and being authentic and relating with people in ways that you never could have ever imagined, and it heals you. And so when you come into a place of feeling more in your center and feeling more balanced in your energy, you can then make those decisions every day to move into alignment with your dreams by taking inspired action rather than forced action. And I think it's just that. It's like I decided to remove all of the things in my life that were just helping me resist and replace them with things that were going to support where I wanted to go. And that evolved into the business of play, really. I mean, like everything I do is focused around playing and having fun and being creative with it. And that doesn't mean that I don't try to build things and organize it and systemize it and make money. Like I do that stuff too, but it's all built off of an excitement of like my North Star is this enjoyable for me? And is it helping other people in service? Is there some value that it's contributing to the world? And if I stay in that lane, it just keeps expanding into so many more opportunities and opportunities. And I don't always stay there. You know, like I get sucked out and I get pulled back into really dark places, but I've got so many notebooks and so many good people surrounding me now that I can go back and reference and be like, oh, my breath, like start breathing again. Like go stand in that fucking lake with my shoes off, like get in the freezing cold river, sit outside by yourself in the fire or at the fire and stare at it or in the fire. That could be interesting. Maybe if you're on like psilocybin or something, you could survive that. But, you know, these intimate moments with yourself allow you to find this love that you can then help share into the world with the people around you and your creations. And that's it. That's just like, that's the rhythm. It's like a heartbeat, you know, it's try to stay there.
That is so awesome. In all honesty, no shade to anybody I've ever had on my podcast, but this so aligns when I'm asking this question, what does it mean to be in the business of yourself? Like, this is the shit I want to hear. You know, like this is exactly what it feels like for me too when I had to make a total, not necessarily a U-turn, but a hard right on the life I was living to
Yeah, we did that
make
together,
this, you know? Yeah, like to come into myself and the play. The play
Yeah.
is like really, I tell my yoga students all the time, I'm like, if you're not having fun, what are you doing? What are
Yeah.
you doing? Like,
Yeah. What are you doing it for?
yeah. Why are you here? Are
And
you actually here to be the next Instagram yogi? Or are you here to just like have fun in your body and like learn?
the most miserable things too you can completely transform the misery by just having fun. Like just it's mindset. Like
Yeah,
just actually really it's heart. It's the
it is
heart
hard.
actually emulates like 10x the energetic field of the mind. So like it's it's being able to drop into your heart in the misery and being like, I can love this too. Like I can
Yeah,
love this too. And in that you start to see the beauty of it. And there's always a silver lining. Like there's something in that misery that's going to unfold. And
hmm,
there's gonna be a lotus flower somewhere, you know, like it's going to bloom. You just have to trust that it's going to and actually believe that it's going to and not get stuck in that dark hole. Cause fuckery can be it's it's a brutal place, but it's not
yeah,
near as brutal if you know how to get out of it.
yeah, 100%. I love that you said, you know, you lived this life like you were suppressing this and everything, and I feel like, you know, yesterday actually I was in a mentor call. It's called the Disco Effect with Tracy Litt,
Oh,
and
cool.
she's just a human that's an absolutely amazing neuroscience mind shift. She does all. You'd
You
love
like
her.
neuroplasticity and all that? Yeah, that's
You would love
cool.
her. So
Yeah.
she was like, the opposite of suppression is expression. And the more you can express and be your full, authentic badass, like the better off and more fun life will actually be. And I
Yeah, and
thought,
it helps the
wow,
people around
yeah,
you too, you know?
mm-hmm,
It
yeah,
gives everybody around you permission to do the same, and then you're all having fun. And collectively, like what you can bring into life, what you can manifest collectively is way more powerful than on your own. So
yeah. What does manifest mean to you?
it means drawing something up that already exists through my subconscious and into my physical world. And I think of the body as inside of the spirit and not the spirit inside of the body. I believe that's very true. Because I think in the world we're kind of taught like, oh, you have this spirit inside of you, it's contained, it's in your body and you feel it and it wants to do things. But your body's in your spirit. And when the spirit actually expands. I mean, it really expands way out from your body. And it
Mm,
can pull in communication from all sorts of resonancies and dimensions, whatever, into your physical experience, which comes in through your body. And so manifestation for me is when I visualize things, at first I was like, oh, that's not real yet. I'm going to bring it to life. And that can be powerful too, because like if you're using an affirmation or an I am statement and you just say like, I am this, and you start visualizing it, and then you get into the feeling of that, like, oh, I am living on this, farmhouse in the middle of a spring and there's so many people that I love around or whatever. I start thinking about those people and what they look like and what are we talking about. That's when the affirmation actually has its power. But if you're just saying something like, I am a millionaire and you don't believe it, then you're actually just reaffirming to yourself that you're not a millionaire. And so it can be dangerous. But to me, manifestation is the art of visualizing from the place of feeling. So becoming the feeling of my wish fulfilled, but taking it a step farther, I'm actually visualizing myself from a future place. What's the easiest way to say this? So I visualize myself doing the thing that I want to become, like what I want my world to be, but I
hmm.
visualize it not from where I'm sitting now. I visualize it from a space of looking back on it as if it already happened, because it did. That was the
Yeah.
biggest like twist for me, was like time is not linear. And I used to think like, oh, that's coming and I need to get there. But if you start to realize that you can look back on it like this already happened, and I think like as it like I do a memory, right? Like
Hmm.
the memory that already happened. I think about my visions as I do a memory. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm here. Like that's the
Yeah.
quantum leap. Like, and it's once the first couple times you go through it and you get to the place where you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, I am what I wrote in my journal 2 years ago. Like you realize the power in it. And it's not, it, it can seem impossible at the beginning, but you just start visualizing yourself where you want to go as a memory. And it's cool. Yeah, it's drawing those things out that are already occurring into my physical reality. That's manifestation to me.
Yeah. Me too. And like 10 out of 10. I don't think I could have said it as eloquently as you, but if I were saying
Well,
it,
that was
that's
probably
exactly
kind of
how I'd say
confusing.
it. No, actually, when I am working with mentors, I did a whole immersion in 2025 with Kathy Heller and her mentorship, and now I've switched into just having a coach, for example,
Mhm.
instead of a full immersion, and then I'm gonna then give myself space to then do it on my own, and then
Yeah,
probably roll back into something or something else or someone else's container because it's so powerful with that energy. But everything that they teach in the entire year is everything that you just said, like
yeah.
in 5 minutes.
And also like the other half of that is the inspired action, because like when you're
Yeah,
visualizing from that place and you become that feeling, you automatically start to take inspired action in
easy.
alignment with it, and that's what brings it into the physical world. Without the inspired action, it will just stay there, kind of parallel in a different reality or dimension. So it's there, but you're not experiencing it physically.
Hmm.
You can go into your subconscious and experience it. You can go into your dream realm and experience it, but you won't experience it physically until you take inspired action. And so those two things in balance are,
Yeah.
that's what I've been using in principle for 12 years or whatever, that over and
Yeah.
over again. Yeah.
And it is a rinse and repeat. And I don't think
Yeah.
it's anything more than that because with inspired action, you can also only move at the rate of your nervous system. And then you're also like in checkmate all the time. And then you make a move and then you're like, oh, checkmate, how's that feel? And then you make another big move and you're like, oh shit, now I'm nervous. And then you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not that nervous. It's catching up to me.
Yeah, there's always something that's going to make you nervous. Like once even when you become like your vision, it's like I recently just had a moment where two huge visions of mine for many, many years came into reality. And now like I'm living in this farmhouse and I have 4 acres and I have my daughter who I mean, I've seen her in my visions for so long and she
Mhm.
looks exactly the same. And it's so wild and so confirming, you know? Um, and I got to a space where I was sitting here the other day and I was like, oh shit, like what's next? Cause like I had been kind of working on the same stuff for so long. It was a really like, it was almost like a 10-year cycle from 2015 or 16 where it came around and was like, I get to recreate some new world that I just haven't done that in so long because I was bringing the ones from my visions to life. And now I get to do that again. So I'm in that phase where I'm like, what is next? Like, what's coming? Like, what's coming? I'm like totally open for this. And there's a lot of cool stuff that's happening in that surrender, but you don't have to know, like you don't always have to know exactly what's coming. You just have to be open to the play and the excitement and just, you know, love and be of service and give. And it all comes back.
Absolutely, like times 10 in my experience. Like I feel like everything that you put out is just like the world is so in love with it that it just comes back like times 10.
Yeah.
So,
If you do it from your core, like your
yeah,
core heart center, it always. Yeah.
you have one of the coolest um affirmation decks, and your calendar has really gotten me through the first 22 days of the year. So put that there. I love that thing. And I think I think everybody needs one, first of all. And I know the people that use it love it too. So it is it's awesome. Is that something that was on your bingo card? Like,
No, I didn't. It wasn't even so uh, it's really cool because yes, it takes the card concepts and puts them into a calendar format, but also like every person is reading the same message that has that calendar every day. That's what I've been tapping into is like I look at it and I'm like, oh, all these people, there's a lot of people that have them now. And I'm like,
well,
we're all getting this collective message. So there's power in that as it
a
grows. It's
whole
like,
lot.
what's what are we all feeling and manifesting or bringing to life with these thoughts today? And some of my stuff that I write is very triggering for people, and I do that on purpose because triggers are the pathway to healing. But
Yeah.
the calendar, it was. I brought this amazing girl on. Her name was Annie, and we hired her just to kind of do some project management stuff a couple years ago. Um, and she's not working with us anymore, but she was awesome. And she was like, you should turn this into a calendar. And I was like, no, nobody would want that. Like, it's just completely, I was like, I make the decks, but like, I don't know I don't know anything about selling calendars or getting them out or whatever. And basically her and my co-founder, Jason, and then Jocelyn, who does all the artwork for my cards, she's like my soul partner in creativity. Um, they just threw that together. Like they redesigned all the cards in the calendar format and they did it all. And I just kind of like oversaw and I did the boxed and, like the marketing aspect of it, all of that. But it was cool to see that come to life because now it sells more than anything else. It's crazy.
It's awesome. I really love it because every day, you don't know if you're going to get a long one or a short one. And it's something that's so exciting to look forward to. And then I had 2 or 3 days like everybody else in their cycle of a month or whatever their cycle is. For me, I hit a very low dip every single month, about 2 to 4 days. And I'm like, I don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm just gonna quit all my dreams. Doing this retreat in March. I'm just gonna cancel it. Blah blah. Just pity on me. And then I read your thing, and it was it was the sperm kept swimming one,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's like you're
That's from the
magic. What are
first
you
deck.
doing? And I'm like, oh my god, of course. So then I got over myself, and
Yeah. That's a red one. That's like that was from the first deck. And yeah, it's about the semen and like doing the impossible, which there's actually some new research around. I think the eggs having a lot more to say when it comes to like, I guess the sperm may be working together and they may not be battling each other as much. I don't know. Something
Yes.
cool. But I think about that card every time I see research on that. I'm like, yeah,
I
it's one
thought it
of
was great. I was like, what a motivator. Who would have ever thought?
yeah.
And then I'm always now, because I was like, I'm just gonna buy the whole thing, and I got the whole thing in, and I'm like, which one do I even resonate with? And I can't not use every single day the spank your to-do list.
Oh yeah.
My coworkers, they all crack up, and I'm like, it's on my pad. Do you see? It's gonna get done now because it's
Yeah, the batch actions is powerful. It's a powerful process.
yeah.
Like just being able to compartmentalize the different types of things that you're doing. Cause like a lot of times we make lists, and this isn't the inspired action side of things, but like, cause my brain and the way that Rage Create works in general is like you have the rage masculine outward systems organization planning, and then you have the create, like the feminine, the
Yeah.
inward, the relaxation and the play, and they work perfectly in harmony. But that pad helps me, compartmentalize like all this, to do stuff for shit I need to do around the house goes on one list. It doesn't get mixed into another list of business things I need to do, and in the business, there's like 10 different types of stuff that I do. And so like all of those are getting separated out so that when I go in to put stuff in the calendar, it's like I'm doing all these calls on one day and I'm doing all of this, all of these errands on another day together. The things that make sense, because that's what kind of helps you bend time. You have people use, and I have, and all of us are guilty of doing like, I don't have the time. Where am I going to get the time? Especially when you have a kid, you're always like,
Mhm.
and
I hear
it's
that
just like
often.
there is so much time. There's so much time, and we just choose to do stupid shit with the time. And so, like, you just turn your phone off for 1 week straight, and you will see how much extra time that you have. That one
It's
thing,
true.
So,
That's not a lie. I've
yeah.
created this fits into prioritize quadrant, and it was before I knew about your to do and not to do list and what can wait, but it's so much, very much like that. And I'm like, holy crap, this
Oh,
is
yeah,
what
the do this,
people are
stop
thinking of.
that.
Yeah, do this, stop that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And mine's based off of like fire energies, but still, it doesn't matter. It's like the
Yeah,
same
that's cool.
concept. Tiny steps, big moves. You know?
Yeah, I've developed this new system that I'm living under I think the Gregorian calendar has dismantled people's ability to actually I think it's been used to kind of hoax people into being productive under the wing of like some corporation or like structure for extreme productivity for some other purpose.
Hmm.
And it's purposely not synced up with the moon cycles. And I was doing some dense meditation last year because I was living in that chaos. Like all last year was so chaotic for me. And it was like, I don't feel like I'm in my rhythm. I'm not creating as much. I feel like I'm constantly like have all these things that are melting together that shouldn't be done at the same time. And the vision that kept coming through is like this operating under the lunar system again. So I've been making this and using this concept of operating under the moon cycles again, as in where like from the new moon to the full moon, that's the rage session. And those are usually 13 to 15 day periods.
Hmm.
And I'm doing all my masculine stuff. I'm doing all my batching of things. Like I might be writing 20 emails that are going to go out to the list over the next, month, or I'm putting together ad campaigns. Like I'm doing all those things. And then the full moon happens and I'm celebrating it. And then all that work is in rest. And from the full moon to the new moon, I'm in the feminine relaxation creative stage where I get to actually just work on bringing new products to life and like writing card decks and writing books and playing and just, being outside more in nature. And it's a breath in and a breath out. And it's been really, really awesome. But one of the big things about that is instead of the 7-day week that you look at a 7-day calendar and it's like, okay, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to do all these things. And then Thursday, you're like, oh, I'm ready for Friday. And then Friday, you're like, oh, thank God it's the weekend. You never have enough time to actually get momentum. You get just enough break at the end of the week to rest. And then you're back at it again. And you never actually string together enough momentum to be able to accomplish anything that you really want to bring to life. It's like you'll do
Yeah.
broken amounts of stuff, like, oh, 10% of this, and I'll get 20% of that done. And then a year and a half goes by and you finally finish one of those things. But with the moon cycles, like if you work like humans did for millions of years,
Mhm.
if you live under the moon cycle, like you're automatically in an energetic body of like what you should be doing. And so it's really easy. I'm finding it to be really easy to be like, oh, I'm doing systems and it feels like the energy is matching that. And then in the
Yeah.
creative phase, I'm like, it's really easy to relax knowing that I have all that done and just play and not feel guilty about it and to be in here and create. And there's like a more pure channel of creation coming through. So, instead of the 7 days, you have like 13 to 15 days. And when you're looking at that view, it's like, oh, I have so much time. Like, I can really take my time. I have so much time here. And then you flip it and you're like, I still have another 15 days before this month even ends on the Gregorian calendar. So it's been a
Yeah.
cool thing. I'm enjoying that.
Man, that
Actually, it looks
is
like this.
awesome.
This is one of the prototypes I've been working on. This is the full moon. So you can see, like, you can just see everything. I have the Mayan calendar overlaid on it.
Yeah.
I've got all the zodiacs and things too.
Well, that'll
And
be my next product I buy. Can't wait to get that out.
I don't know when I'm gonna. At some point, I'm gonna put it into like probably as some sort of book that can fold and open, but I don't know what yet. I'm gonna use it for a while first.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That just felt natural. You just speaking about it. I
Yeah,
could
well,
feel myself be like, I should try this,
that's how I've been feeling when it was coming in. I kept ignoring it, and I was like, and then I finally one day wrote the notes down because it just kept coming in through my pipeline. I was like, okay, work under the moon cycles. What does this even mean? Because I'm not anywhere close to being one of the most well-versed person when it comes to astrology and moon cycles. But as I've learned and leaned into it and started to actually just do it, be the first has been a theme for me over the past couple of years. Stop waiting for people, just like be the
hmm
first. So don't look for somebody else who's made it. Just do it. Like just make it yours because that's going to be the most impactful. And so uh it's manifesting. This is one of those like the one things I did not plan at all that's coming to life. And a lot of stuff I do plan, but this is one that's just like coming through, kind of like my first affirmation deck. Like I never thought I would be doing that, but it just came through and it wouldn't go away until I made it. So I did it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had so many dreams to like have a children's book out or to even do affirmation decks or calendars or all of these things, but I've been so caught in that Monday through Friday push, 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 and then where are you spending like let me back up for a second. You're in a 9 to 5 and then you're 5 to 9, you're supposed to be XYZ on your way out, but then that 5 to 9, does that get a break on Saturday and
Yeah.
Sunday? It's just like a cycle. It's just a rat race,
Yeah. When
you
you have a
know?
kid,
So
yeah.
but, yeah, I'm not a fully entrepreneur yet. I'm sure that day will be here. I'm pretty positive it's coming. But it's just like,
It's already happened.
yeah, it's already happened. I'm just gonna have it come through the body. So,
Yeah.
it
I
just
remember because I've been 10 years now and I remember every single day writing down a specific date, which was June 22nd, 2016, 62216. I wrote that down every day for 2 years with two affirmations that aligned with me working for myself and being location independent. And at first I was just faking it. And then I was like believing it. Like I was actually
Mhm.
thinking to myself and I was dreaming like, oh yeah, like people would talk to me like, yeah, I work for myself, I'm location independent, even though I was still like working at a job, and then it just happened. It all happened, and like there's power in that way too. So
Yeah, yeah. I feel like my first job, which unbeknownst to anyone, I mean, I feel like my first job is always my sole job, with the FitZen. But then,
yeah,
I've got my financial angel with my actual
yeah, that's
career
such a
job.
great way to look at it. Yeah, I mean
So,
it's all
mhm,
I had a mentor who really changed my mind on that, like a long time. Because I actually used to complain before I was able to do that transition. I was always like complaining, why can't I do that or whatever? Like, and I was complaining about my job, and he was complaining, and he was like, just stop, just stop me. And he was like, dude, like you got to find gratitude in that job. Like that's your money hustle. That's giving you the
Hmm.
support that you are going to need to be able to actually launch into being an entrepreneur. Like that financial stream is incredibly important. And the energy of it is everything for you. And like, if you took that away right now, you wouldn't make it through that,
Yeah.
So like, so then I just started loving the fact that I had that income, and then all of a sudden new income streams were showing up, and it was like, yeah, it, it's a, it's all putting your mind in the right place. If anything in the world, everything can be viewed in a way that can benefit you.
Hmm.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mindset is the most powerful asset. And I mean, it can shift and change your energy and your energy management speak. But when you are talking about being inspired, I feel like that is just like in spirit, with your
Yeah.
whole coming in and through the body, which I've never heard anybody explain it in such a way, but that just made so much sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
of, of course it's that way, and that's just how it is. So be it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you think of three circles, like there's this big circle, and it's like the spirit realm subconscious with eyeballs looking at your mind center, which is another circle with eyeballs looking at your physical reality. But you're actually the farthest circle back, right? It's just a viewing point. It's like a pipeline that goes through. But because you're experiencing the physical, you think that it's going the opposite, like you're looking and you have to look back the other way to see it, but it's not true. It's like anything that you bring in up through your subconscious can appear. Like it's already there. It's that, you're talking about your friend with the neuroplasticity stuff, and Joe Dispenza, like there was a
Hmm.
time where everyone's like, yeah, but prove the science. But now we have all sorts of cool people out there that are showing the science behind it.
Yeah.
So it's, just there, it's there. It's wild. It's there. Yeah.
How did you learn all of this? Like, was it inherent? Were you like, just start following
Um,
breadcrumbs, or did someone come to you, or?
I have a lot of guides. So I have channels in my creation where I trance out sometimes, and then just like stuff comes through me. So there's that, which is very helpful. And so like instead of resisting that, leaning into it and not thinking that it's weird, and like not shaming it, but being like open to it,
Mm.
because it can be viewed even in today's world where it's pretty, open. You can, it can be shunned down upon, like you're bullshitting or you're making it up or whatever. But um when I was doing podcasting, Rachel, I basically had a moment where I woke up face down. Well, my dog's barking. I don't know if you can hear her, but I woke up face down on my garage floor with blood everywhere. And there was a bottle of liquor in my hand, whiskey, and my car was running in the front yard. And I didn't remember anything for like the past 2 days. And in that moment, there was a lot of like self-reflection of I didn't want to go any farther. Like I was ready. I was like, I don't need to live. Like I don't need any of this. And I had some pretty intense visitors spiritually that really gave me what I thought at the time were warnings, but actually ended up being kind of like guiding lights. And if you don't, if you don't make changes or start, AKA doing the things that you really want to be doing, because that's the only reason I was so miserable, is because I was living a lie to myself, right? Then you're not going to be here anymore. But there was like a lot of visuals of what could be. And the pipeline was like, if you don't know how to do this, then ask somebody who has done it. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. So that was like, who do I ask? I don't know anybody. Like, and it was like right then I discovered the podcasting app. It was like when Apple first forced the podcasting app onto your phone. It's like
Hmm.
2013 or something, 2014, 2013. Um, and I recognized it, And I opened it up, and it's just like the first show I clicked on was just like an interview from somebody, like a story. And actually, her name was Amber Vilhauer, who I'm still connected with today. But I listened to her story, and it was like I was listening to what I wanted my story to transition into. It was like she told the same story that I was in right then, but then there was a transition into like all this stuff she was doing with websites and like, you know, writing books, and she was incredibly inspiring. And something in my mind was like, reach out to her. And I was so shy, and like, I'm very introverted, and I was like, but I found her on Facebook, and I sent her a message, and she replied. I was like, she was on this massive pedestal, right? Like this mountain. And I was like way down here. Like, why would she talk to me? It's creepy that I'm even reaching out, whatever. She replied. Not only did she reply, she asked to call me. Like, it was just this unbelievably nice gesture, like, and she called me, and I talked to her for like 30 minutes about my situation, and like whatever energy that she transferred to me in that conversation changed me. Like, it activated something. And then I had these wild, some more wild experiences, but it eventually led to me. She connected me with Hal Elrod. Do you know who that is?
Mm-mm.
So he sold millions of books, and he wrote the 5-minute or the Miracle Morning.
I have that. Literally.
He has a crazy story where he like basically had this crazy near-death experience and overcame it, and he created this. So anyway, she was like, you need structure in your mornings. That's where you like just start with your morning. Do this for my friend Hal. I'm also going to connect you with him just to see maybe there's something there, And in that, I was like getting all these thoughts about starting to interview people. And I was like, maybe I should start a podcast, because there really weren't very many back then. And so I made a commitment to myself that I was going to do at least 5 shows, and it was going to be the first 5 people I asked if they said yes, and I couldn't back out, because I totally would have backed out, like I totally. And the second person I asked was a Hollywood director, and he replied and said yes. And that was crazy. And so I started that show. It was called the Artsy Now Show back then. And I started interviewing all these people, and it was, if I go back and listen to them, it's like, whoa, like how different of a world and existence that was for me, and the questions I was asking, and the curiosity. But everybody was so open, and I just kept going through that for 100, 200, 300 interviews. And in that process, I met all these people, and I learned all of these things about structuring the day and manifestation, and I started to apply them to my life. And then that turned into a lot of the sections of the Sweet Ass Journal that I created. And then that turned into people telling me about how they use the journal, and they started a nonprofit or quit their job and started an entirely new life in a different country. And that gave me even more excitement and energy to just keep going. And you never know what reaching out to one person can do to affect the entire your entire existence in life. And that's that's how that started. I don't even remember what the question was, but hopefully I answered it.
You totally did. That is so cool. How much courage did you just have? I mean, that is awesome. That takes a lot of guts. I don't reach out to hardly many people. A lot of people that come to want to be on my podcast that like show up in my inbox. I'm like, that's a really cool story. Let's go,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've reached out to very few people. You obviously, I'm like, I've got it. I need to talk to you. People need to hear you. Like, you've got some good stuff going on. But that is very,
I
very
talked to
cool.
some cool people over the years for sure. And
Yeah.
and I have a really good friend who I met on an airplane in 2009. He actually he planted a seed in me that then birthed around that phase of 2013, 14, that then progressed into everything that I'm doing today. But I got on an airplane to go from Nashville to like Houston to interview for a job working on like an oil rigger, an oil tanker, like in the Gulf of Mexico, and would have been miserable for me. There's no way. And he gets on the plane and sits next to me in the middle seat, and I'm like thinking the whole time when he gets on, I'm like, please don't sit next to me. Please don't sit next to me. He's got brands, tattoos all over him. He smelled terrible. And he goes, can I sit there, brother? And I was like, Oh God. Because I was such a douche then. You know, like I was so surface level and like, because I mean, I didn't have any other teachers. I had no, everybody around me was, you know, it was like this, that was just the frequency that I was in. And
Oh yeah, I was a douchetta at the same exact time. I got
yeah,
it. I was just
yeah.
yeah.
And he sat down and like, he changed everything for me because he basically, he was like, what are you doing? And I told him, and then I was like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I just got extradited by NATO from Rwanda, where I was in prison for 40 days because I was created a nonprofit that was protecting women of the genocide, and they tried to pawn some scheme off on me, and they tried to kidnap my wife, but she got out in a tanker, but then that got hit on the Ugandan border. I don't know if she's okay, but until she got back here, and now I'm out of jail, and I'm going to see her right now for the first time. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, like, I'm like, okay, he's lying. That was my first. I was like, this guy's fucking smells shit, and he's full of lies. And then he pulled out his BlackBerry, because we had Blackberries back then.
Right.
And he starts showing me pictures. He's like, this is the hut I was living in. There's a black mamba that I cut the head off with my machete. And I'm like, oh my God. And so then I was like, he's telling the truth. And then like it blew my mind open. I was like, wait, where did you? He's like, I grew up in Nashville. I was like in a Christian family, but I had visions from a young age that I needed to move to Africa. So I just did. And I was like, he's like, I had no plan. I just went. And, you know, this is what I've been doing. And I was like, okay, like this is the craziest thing I've heard from somebody in my life one-on-one. And he's like, you know what, man? I'm going to give you my dad's book, because my dad's an author and he kind of writes about this type of stuff. And he sent me his dad's book, and it was called No More Mondays. And his dad's name is Dan Miller, who actually was a pioneer of podcasting. He just won the Lifetime Podcasting Award at the Podfest thing down in
Really?
it's like a couple of days ago. Jared was
Yeah.
there, and he accepted the reward on behalf of his father because he passed into the Technicolor Cherokee world a couple years ago. And Dave Ramsey presented it to him, and John Lee Dumas, who are two huge podcasters and financial people. And Jared, yeah, like we became friends, and over the years we had all these synchronistic spiritual stories alongside each other. And just a couple of days ago, he was like, dude, I just left MIT. They brought me in. He's like, you know, I don't have a high school degree, and they gave me an entire research team, and they're writing this huge paper on, you know, AI and indigenous wisdom that I'm authored, and they're going to publish it in Nature magazine, and they're offering me potentially an associate professor position. And I don't know, man. I don't have a high school degree. He's like, this is all so crazy. And I was like, dude, I just had all these reflections back to the beginning of my path. Like, you know, all the different things I did around the world, and the times I was coming back from Africa with suitcases full of, you know, jewelry to sell, to send money back to the villages, and like all that stuff he had also done, but like 8 years before me. And it was just like this weird worlds just colliding with each other. And you never know one conversation with one person, what that can do for your life. And like, it's just nuts, you know, it's cool to reflect
Yeah.
on.
That is bizarre and amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. What about divine timing?
Mm-hmm.
Holy moly. That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great. His name's Jared Angaza, if anybody wants to look him up. He's a philanthropist, and he's one of the most brilliant people I've ever met in my life. He's like my brother, truly.
Yeah. Wow. That's like, I love that when you're in this, like, I don't even want to say realm, because it's not a realm. It's not like we are actually like leave. It's just, we just tap into what's here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
You know?
right. You're just tapping into the well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlimited wellspring. It's always there.
Yeah. And you call in these synchronicities, and they're just in abundance. And I feel like this would definitely be on your track as one of those like star moments, you know? Like that is the
Yeah, it was an
synchronicity that came in
activation point.
abundance. Yeah.
You know, but every single person, I believe, like we have intent, like we are antennas essentially.
Yeah.
And there's constant ideas and connections and opportunity floating around, but are we looking for them? Like if you keep your attention and your intention in alignment with like what you're looking for, it will present itself. It's just that we're all staring at our fucking phones and slamming, pressing buttons with our fat fingers and screaming at each other. And it's all moronic cultural digression. And we're walking down the street, we're looking at the ground, we're staring at the phones, and like you're not seeing that person that just walked by that you might have made eye contact with, might have had a conversation with, and it might have changed the entire trajectory of your life. You
Hmm.
can't change it all if you're not open to other avenues from what you're already doing. So being stuck in like a self-imposed prison of routine where you do the same thing every single day and you're just mindlessly scrolling and you're checking your email, it's like there's a reason that system's there. It's so that your life force can be fed upon by companies and the government and used. I mean, your life force energy, when you feel drained, it is being drained out of you. But there is a way to live to where you constantly feel like you're exuding it and it's exploding out of you and you're giving it to other people in a way that's actually beneficial to the world. That's constant regeneration of energy. And so being able to identify when I'm being drained, where I'm giving my life force to something that's not in alignment, or when I'm getting it to something that is, that's the difference, like in everything. So yeah, I mean, and that's really the feeling of excitement at its most base level. Do I feel like I love this? Do I feel excited? Do I feel curious? There's a lot of different emotions that go with it, the positive and the negative. So,
Yeah. The balance is so needed to even continue to go. I mean, I feel like one of the star seeds, I feel like you're one of my star seeds. I'll put it that way because, like I said, you always were like the 10% ahead. And I got to watch you go literally just sell everything you owned.
yeah, I
Do
did that, huh?
I was like, he sold his car and he just left the country to just start helping all of these other people around. And you were so worldly. And that's what I really admired about your actions in the 20 teens, and moving
I was
forward with
scared of
that.
it.
It was
Like I
so
really was,
cool.
the things that I was like in this place in my life where I was like, what's scaring me the most? And then I would do it. And so I was very scared of traveling out of the country. And like everybody in my parents, like there were people in Kentucky, as you know, that were telling me that like not to go to Oregon because that's where the Taliban were. I was like,
Mm.
this is unbelievable. Like the fear mongering that keeps people in self-imposed
Oh,
prisons.
yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna go places. I don't know where, but I'm just gonna open myself up to connecting with people and see what feels right. I mean, they were like I ended up in Africa because I was in a winery in Walla Walla, Washington. And some lady was there who was a professor at Columbia University in New York, and she just started talking. And yeah, we're on our way to Africa, to Uganda. And started telling me about the school that they had started and all this, and like, do you want to go? And I was like, in my heart, it was like, oh yeah, and I was like, yeah. And I was in the phase where I was saying yes to that stuff, and she was like, wow, I've never actually like, I had a lot of people say yes, but no one has actually come that said yes like that. And so like, I just went, like, and it changes everything. So I did that for, yeah, I was just kind of like flowing with that. And it was so awesome, like climbing big mountains. And there's something really special at the top of huge mountains, like just being
Mhm.
so high up in altitude. There's channels there. It's so good. Um, Meeting people. And yeah, I was like on a Forbes podcast at some point, and there was a girl who is very connected to something incredibly powerful, the God self, but she was like, you need to come to Nicaragua for a very particular reason. Like you have to come. And I'm doing this thing, but you have to come. And I just knew when she was talking to me that I was like, I have to go. Like she's serious. And I met some people on that trip that are the closest people to me today. And that was, I mean, I was still with Lindsay back then. So that was like 2018 or 17 or something. Changed the entire course of my life. So
Was that when you
yeah,
were with the kids and I mean, I just remember you in a picture of all these children. I'm like,
that
"Poor
was Africa.
Heath."
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. But
oh,
in Nicaragua I was in Nicaragua when I went down with Jules. Yeah.
that's
And,
awesome.
and I had this crazy breathwork experience there too, where like was 2 hours of breath work on this platform in the Nicaraguan jungle overlooking like the Pacific Ocean. And I had this like lifelong physical ailment of like, I couldn't eat spicy food or drink carbonation. I didn't know how to burp. So I had all this like extreme gastrointestinal pain. And I did this breath work and like this black smoke, like this entity came out of me. There were 70 something people doing this at the same time. So you can imagine the power, like came out of me and released. And the meal afterwards, I started eating something by mistake because I didn't know it was like some super spicy food. And I was eating it and I didn't feel any spice. And everybody at the table was like, "Oh, that's so hot." And I was like, "Wait." And I realized that like I no longer had it, I could eat spicy food all of a
Like
sudden.
no
Like I could eat the
spice aversion.
spiciest food. So then I was like, can I try a carbonated drink? And I drank a carbonated drink and it did not bother me. It completely healed whatever that was, like an energetic blockage of some sort, an entity that just
Hmm.
expelled. It's pretty crazy,
Wow.
but not crazy. I mean, I keep saying it's crazy, but it's really not, none of this stuff is actually crazy. It's just is, it just is.
Yeah, it is. It just it just is. That is
Yeah.
just the explanation of it. It just
Yeah.
is. I've had some wild moments, not so much as like I've seen black smoke come out of me, but I've been in the middle of a sleep, perhaps even, and there was right before I found out I was pregnant, I had this thing come into my room, and it was
Oh,
just this thing, and I can't tell you, I was paralyzed from the sleep, but my eyes were open, and it just, like, got to me like it was strangling me, and I was just like I
and you
couldn't
couldn't
speak,
move.
couldn't move,
Yeah. Oh
and
my
I'm like,
gosh.
"Go
Yeah.
away!" And, like,
Did
in
it have
energy.
do you know what it looked like at all?
It was like a black blob that
Okay,
came
yeah.
I mean, it
I had
was
that happen to me once,
intense, and I was, like,
2008.
so scared, but then I was like, "I'm not scared of this," but I knew in my bones my life was about to flip upside down, and
Yeah.
I wrote it in my journals. You can read it. It's it was that moment, and then it was, like, 6 weeks later, I was pregnant, and I was like, "Oh, wow, look at that." It's wild.
Whoa.
And everything changed
Yeah.
because there's life before child, and then there's life with child. That's the
Yes.
life. That's the
And the
portal.
and the before is like it never was, like once you have a child, it's like you can never experience it until you do, but like I remember not having her, but like that was never a thing. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
just it wasn't like now it's impossible to know that that was ever a thing.
yeah.
She's always been with me. That you know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
crazy. It's such a weird thing.
Yeah,
Said
super
it's crazy
connected.
again, but it's not crazy. It
That's
just
alright.
is.
Well, welcome to the FitZen project. No, this is great. Gosh, I could talk to you for forever, but I really also just enjoy the fact that you even came on today and you share your story and your light, and it's so cool,
Of
everything.
course.
So you've
Yeah.
got your next move, sorta, kinda, not really, but thoughtful, at least. Yeah?
What do you mean, like, as in a project or?
Your project, but also like in life itself. I feel like the next thing for you, you said you were just going to embrace the creation side and not really
Oh, yeah.
know what is
I'm
until it
making a
is.
kids affirmation deck. There's a lot
Awesome.
of creation that's rolling through. It's pretty wild, but I didn't say crazy. I said wild. Um, yeah, making this really awesome kids affirmation deck called Little Big Affirmations that I'll probably be launching in like April. And then Ancient Affirmations is a project I've been working on for a while. It's intense, it's dense. I'm dissecting like all of these ancient religious and spiritual texts and manuals and just seeing how those are coming together into card format with the art. Um, there's quite a bit of stuff that I've been working on. I'm writing a book called How to Grow Your Abundance Mojo, and it's all about feeling
Mhm.
feeling excitement. The whole thing is just like all these different ways to feel your way into a better existence. I mean, it's really the stuff that I do on a daily basis, but also like stupid things that are very powerful. Like every time I write my signature, I put a dollar sign in it for the S because it's like a resonant thing for me. I have fun with it and I think it works, and because I believe that it works, then like abundance flows back in. And the book it's not necessarily about like abundance in financial capacity only. It's about abundance in whatever abundance you're looking for. So like
Yeah.
for me, that's a lot of freedom.
Mm.
Freedom to be able to spend as much time as I want with my daughter and travel whenever I want, wherever I want, and create when I want, and like have complete control of what I'm doing with my time and energy. And so it's like cultivating that feeling. And yeah, there's a lot of there's like 12 different things that I've been working on.
Gosh, I
That's where I'm
feel like
going.
I'm staring in a mirror because I feel like I have a bazillion things going on too. The other day, my coach was like, "You can't catch two rabbits at the same time." And I'm like, I know. So it's like once over here, once over there, but you're over here. But no, I feel it in all aspects as well. I've got this retreat coming up in March, and that's taking some time, but I'm also planning my wedding in June, even though Josh is like, "No, you're not giving it any attention." I'm like, "I am."
You're gonna do it this year?
Silently. Yeah.
I'm gonna do it also. We just haven't like,
Yeah.
gosh,
You've
that's a whole
been
thing to think about, but this is the year.
Yeah, this is the year. I've been playing with we've got dates, and you were all around my dates. So you said your favorite number was 22, also ours.
622.
We're getting married on 6226
Oh my
so
god.
that it is
That's
like
10 years
aligned.
exactly from yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, I know. I was like, this is, and we're having this conversation on 122 and 26. This is just
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
everything's coming in, and I'm like, wow, yeah, it's all aligned.
And that's the solstice too. Like there's so much powerful energy there. That's
Yep.
awesome. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's when I end up doing it as well.
Yeah.
We're not, we're just kind of like, I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to go in the van. I mean, we're taking van road trip. We're just going to do some kind of elopement type thing somewhere in the middle of nowhere, probably,
Yeah.
but it's going to be special for sure.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Ours is in Estes Park,
Oh,
and
nice.
we're having like 10 people, and that's
Yeah. That's special.
perfect.
I like that
Yeah.
container.
Yeah. And then we've got a reception that'll be bigger when we get back for really just to celebrate because we'll be like almost 40 and this our first time doing any of this. And we're like, fuck it, we made it. We did it. Oh my God. But it'll be so much fun.
I'll be 40 by your wedding.
You will
June
be.
5th. June 5th.
June 5th. Well, our wedding is June 2nd, and then we're having the reception the 20th. So, I mean, it's kind of like sandwich
Yeah,
right in
yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
but it'll be great. We're turning 40. He's in September and I'm October, so I was like, let's just make it before we turn
Wow, we're all
40 and then
86
we'll go
babies. That's
somewhere.
cool.
Yeah.
It's like the older you get, the less I meet people that are born in the same year as me, It's kind of
Yeah,
weird.
that's true. That's
It's like you
very
meet someone
true.
who's like within 2 years and you're like, "Oh, we're close in age," but
I feel like
yeah.
most of my contacts are in their 50s or 60s, like they're like my people, you know?
Yeah.
So
It's
it
good. We're
just
all
is
so
random.
young. Everybody's a baby. The baby is the elder.
Yeah. Depending, for sure. Oh, man. Well, Heath, thank you so very much. And usually, I end all of my podcasts with an by myself, but I'm feeling like we could just bring this in together if you want
Wanna do it
to
together?
and do
Yeah,
it
let's do it.
together and like resonate with it because
How many? Just one or?
just one. Yeah.
Okay. You gonna
And
count it down?
just after an inhale, we're gonna take it in,
Okay.
seal it with an om. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Visualize something awesome when you do it.
Done. That was awesome. Ah. Oh man, am I right or am I right? Wasn't that such a great one? Oh, I am probably going to listen to this at least 5 more times this month. I seriously think that Heath is so wise and how to explain being in the business of yourself and manifestation and what it means to go through your own healing journey and how to create and do it with play. This is obviously what lights me up in conversation, and it means even more to get to share that with this collective. So from the bottom of my heart, and in all honesty, thank you so much for staying with the whole conversation, listening to everything that Heath and I had to say. If it resonated with you like it did with me, I hope you share it. I hope you share it to everybody you could think of that would be like, hey, listen to this dude. He's got some wise words, and this is what's up, because that's exactly how I felt when I was listening to this and doing the whole thing, getting ready to package up and send out to the universe. I've got some things going on in the show notes if you're interested in that too. I've got working with Mike Milligan in the One of a Kind Financial. If you want to work into some money and financial planning, I've got avenues to help you get set in any of those. The links are in the show notes, but again, reach out and email. Sign up for the email if you haven't already, and join the community. It's free. First of all, it's free. And second of all, there's a lot of insight that gets shared throughout the week in my email. I've got a retreat coming up March 6th, 7th, and 8th in Danville, Kentucky. Would also love to have anybody who listens to this podcast come, because you already know the vibe. This is the vibe. This is where it's at. And the healing journey is never ending, and it's a rinse and repeat. It's just how deeper can you go and how much fun can you have? Like, if you're not having fun, what are you doing? Honestly, just get that as your next tattoo. So anyway, let's close this one out, because this was beautiful. This was fun. I have nothing more to say because everything has already been said. Let's bring the hands into heart center. And let's close with a powerful Om together after one big inhale. And remember, you are your most important project. Namaste.